Hey Hans! So I get this question all the time on Instagram. How do I get my nail tips to stick on my mannequin hand? So I'm gonna go over that today and just a little bit about it. So those are the little nubby nubs that comes with it. You get it from Amazon. You get about 500 of those, and those are gonna be used as your nail beds. So they come with a couple of different sizes. So here I am just going to be showing you the two different sizes that I mainly use. So the bigger one you're going to be using for the thumb, and then the smaller ones you're going to be using for the rest of the fingers. So just pull them out the packet and we're going to get started. So you are going to just make sure that that little flesh part, make sure that it's pushed back into the hand, and then take your little nail beds and just stick them on in there, and it'll just snap. Now you get this from Amazon. They're about $25. Some of them are a little bit more pricey. You can get some on sale sometimes for about $16. Quality does play a part when it comes in the price. All of these mannequin hands are not made the same. I've been doing nails for about 4 years now, and that couple of extra dollars does, I would say, make a difference. So you're going to be using that little ridge and act as if it is a client's cuticle. And then so just making sure that you are gently pushing that cuticle back, just going back and forth, making sure that you have removed all of that cuticle from the natural nail plate. If you don't, and if you were doing this on a real client, their nail set is going to lift away, hun. So treat your mannequin hand just like it is a client's. So with this video, I did kind of want to take a little bit of a different approach. I wanted to make sure with this video that I was doing things in real time. I didn't want to speed too much of the video up or anything like that. Just wanted to make sure that you guys get the full gist of what's going on. So after that, if this were a client, I would ask the client, do they want me to clip their nails down, file their nails down? Most of the time, my clients have said that yes, go ahead, start over, make sure all of my nails are the same length. Some clients don't, so it's to each his own, but just make sure that you are asking the client. So if this were a client, you would not be using an 80 grit file. Right here, I'm using an 80 grit file just because this is plastic and this is the mannequin hand. So with this mannequin hand, you do want to be using something that is so much more rougher, a lot more on the coarse side to be able to get things done. But I am going to treat the rest of the surface of this mannequin hand just as if it were a client. So you're going to be taking your file and going outward to inward while you are filing. You never want to seesaw their nails. That could cause some damage, making their nails weaker in the long run. So just go from corner to center. So now I'm going to be taking this 80 grit file and going over that plastic, removing the shine with file. Now, as I said before, this is not a step that you want to be doing to your client with an 80 grit file. You can do this with a 180 or higher grit file, not a 100 or not an 80 grit file. So the rougher the file is for this mannequin hand, the nails will stick. The false nails will stick to this. Now, I also did not want to use my e-file because I do know that some beginner techs don't always have one. Sometimes they can be on the pricier side, or for whatever reason you don't have one yet. I wanted to make sure that you knew that you can still achieve a full set look without using an e-file. So here I am just making sure that I'm removing all of the shine from the natural nails and making sure that I'm getting in there close to the cuticle area so that the nails do not lift in that area as well. So you're just going to be taking that file, making sure that you are really roughing up that plastic so that that glue and that plastic tip can stick to this plastic nail bed. So now we're going to just brush off all of that nail dust off of the natural nails. And pull out our tips. Now these tips I got from Amazon as well. Pretty much everything in this video came from Amazon. And I will link it below, everything that you can get. The glue, everything came from Amazon. These are coffin shaped natural tips that I'm gonna be using. And if you know me for real from Instagram, you know that really I do not use natural shaded tips. I always prefer to use the clear tips. And it's just because I don't have to really blend the tip in. But yeah, so that's normally my reason. And I really don't even use pre-shaped tips either. I like beginners to just learn how to use their file and making sure that you know how to shape nails. But this can be quicker. So if you can use these if you want to use these. So I just took that glue, put it on there. Now this is a thing that I just feel like you need to just have a little bit of patience. I know a lot of people feel like it's not sticking, oh my goodness, this is getting on my nerves, what type of glue do I need to use? But it is just literally a matter of being patient. But I mean, if you are in the learning stages, you should have nothing but time. Make sure that you are dedicating time, setting out to practice every single day, even if it's just 30 minutes to an hour. Set out that time so that you can perfect your craft. So you having that patience to be able to get these nail tips to stick on this mannequin hand really shouldn't make a difference, because hey, I'm practicing. If this is something that you are growing to love, it will be okay. Like I said, patience is key. You have to have patience when you are gluing these tips on, hun. Another thing, and I don't even like to go the alternative route of using Gorilla Glue or like super glue, because I like to treat this mannequin hand just like it's a client. So I wouldn't be using Gorilla Glue or super glue on a client. I would be using nail glue. So anything that I do to this mannequin hand, I would do to a client. Anything I would do to a client, I would do to this mannequin hand. I make sure that I treat this mannequin hand just like it is a client. And that's just what you should be doing. And also another thing that I like to do to be able to just keep up with my time when I am practicing, I may have something playing in the background. It may be a video, it may be a song, and I may respond to the song in my head, or respond to these episodes or whatever I'm watching on TV in the background, just as if there was a client there. So then that way you can make sure that when you are ready to take a client, you know how to basically keep conversation or keep things going while you are doing that client, just like you are on your mannequin, so that you don't want to get in front of a client, be doing this client, and then now y'all talking, y'all chilling, and it's slowing you down. So make sure that you have something in the background that you can focus on nails while you are practicing, but also kind of try to focus on a fake little conversation that's going on so that you can make sure you have that realistic client sitting there, even though it is just a mannequin hand. So you being patient, but then you also kind of just building up that my client is here. I'm respecting their time by not just overly kicking it with them. Yeah, that you're not just overly kicking it with them in an appointment. And I have fall victim to that, keeping clients here way longer than they should, just because now we talking. You know, some of these clients have turned into your friends. So you just want to make sure that you are being mindful of those things, even when you are practicing. Time is money, so you want to just make sure that you are timing yourself when you are practicing, timing yourself when you are doing a client, just making sure that you getting things done. So as I am putting this glue and this tip on, I just want to make sure that it is a secure fit, making sure that it is fitting sidewall to sidewall. I personally don't mind if a tip is slightly bigger. You never want to go with a tip that is smaller than the nail bed, because it will probably just pop up. So you don't want to do that. So for me, if it's a little bit bigger, that's fine to me. And there we have it. All of the nail tips are on all 5 fingers. So like I say all the time on Instagram, you guys can get these nail tips to stick to these mannequin hands. So now I'm just going to take that 80 grit file and just kind of bring in the shape just a little bit, not focusing on it too much, but just getting it in a little bit. And there you go, pop it off. So just make sure that it's no big deal. Just push that flesh in and just snap that nail bed right back in. So now you're just gonna lightly go over the nail tip. I always go over the nail tip and not the nail to make sure that I'm blending in that natural nail tip. Never go over the nail, because I don't want to overfile the client's natural nails, making them thin. The object of this game is to make sure that you are giving them healthy nails over all the glitz, glam, glitter, the diamonds that we can put on there. It's always cool to make some cute nails, but you just want to make sure that your client's nails are healthy, because if they're not healthy, they won't be coming back. They won't have nails to put nails on. So I just make sure that I take that file and I'm blending in the tip to the natural nail, and I'm not overfiling the natural nail at all. So just make sure that you are taking your file and filing over the tip and not the nails. Now we're just gonna go ahead and just dust off that excess dust from the mannequin hand. I like to take alcohol and spray the client's nails down. This is going to act as a cleanser and also a dehydrator to dehydrate the nails. You have been touching the nails the whole time that you have been gluing tips on. So your oils and anything that you have on your hands, even though you have washed your hands, are now on that client's hands. So just make sure that you take that alcohol and brush downward. Don't brush upward, because then the dust will get into the cuticles, causing lifting. So this liquid monomer is from Mia Secret. This is what I use to practice. I typically like to use young nails when it comes to clients, but this whole little duo set with this dabbing dish, I think is so cute. I got it from Amazon. I like to use no lift nail primer, and I didn't want to use my primer on the mannequin hand just because I'm practicing. So you're gonna just see me taking the bottle, going against every nail, and on this last one I will show you how I take that product and put it over the natural nail for the client. Now this product I love to death. I use it on all the clients. No lift nail primer, just the name speaks for itself. No lifting. I do not get any lifting on my clients when I use this product, and I have been a fan of this product probably for the last 2.5 years of me servicing nails. So now I'm just going to be taking my brush, dipping it into that monomer, and I'm going to pull out a big bead. I am a fan of the 3 bead method, 2 to 3 bead method, sometimes 4. But to be honest with you guys, if you have to use more than 3 or 4 beads, that is completely fine, especially when you are in that practice stage of doing nails. It doesn't really matter. As long as you are having a smooth application, you will be fine. Making sure that don't use too much product either. Don't use too much product, but however many beads it takes for you to get a nice apex, a nice structured nail, then that is what you need to do. So here I am, just going to be going in with my second bead, placing it down, patting it in. And notice how the product is not running away from me. I have complete control of this product. You're just going to be lightly tapping the product and pulling it down. So when I go in with my cuticle beads, I like the bead to be just a little bit wetter, just so that it just goes on like butter to me. So yeah, so I just use a little bit of a wetter bead, making sure that I have control. And just like I said earlier, I am going to treat this mannequin hand just like it is a client. So when you see that gap right there, that's not a gap. That is you not flooding the client's cuticle. So just make sure that you're treating this just like it is a real client. So I did notice I needed to put another bead just so that I can build up that apex area a little bit more. So that's what you're gonna do. So no matter how many beads it takes you to go back and get the job done correctly, get the job done correctly, because there's no worse thing than a client getting out the door. You've done all of this beautiful work, and then they come back because their nails are too thin, their nails have lifted. So make sure you just do everything right the first time. And so now you're just going to be repeating those same steps over all of the nails until you get a complete full set. Placing that bead in the center area, placing it and patting it in. It's kind of like you just folding it in. Pulling it down, stretching that product all the way as far as you can. If your bead is big enough, you will be able to stretch that product as far as you can. And the product that I am using is from the company Chisel. I love this cover pink to death. A color that I will always replace. I think I've said this in multiple videos, but I love this pink. And with your next bead, place it right over top of that first bead and repeat those steps. Fold it in and just stretch that product and pull it down as much as you can, feathering it with the tip of your brush. Now, if you did a smooth application, then this is what the nail should look like. I like to make sure that I don't have any lumps and bumps. I'm going to just knock on it a little bit, make sure that the product has completely cured, take my 80 grit file and get to bringing that shape in and making it crisp. So I'm just going to be going side to side. And like I said, make sure that you are just pushing that flesh back and making sure that your finger in your nail bed is just pushed in, because they do like to come out sometime on these mannequin hands. Going over top with my 80 grit file. And like I said, I'm going to be doing all of this without my e-file, just so that you guys can know you can achieve a full set without using an e-file. You don't have to use an e-file if you do not have one yet, or if you have not reached that level of comfortability with using one yet. And to be honest, I do think that it's best for you to learn how to hand file. You never know what can happen. You can have bust out 20 sets that day, and then boom, you're on your 21st person, and now your e-file has died. You didn't put it on the charger, or even I have had e-files die on me with their cord with a shortage. So it's just always good to make sure that you know how to hand file first before you even get into e-filing. So just practice with that hand file, because you never know what can happen. I'm just going to be repeating all the steps, taking that e-file, smoothing over all of the nails, just making sure that they are smooth all over, making sure that that shape is crisp, because we all know that a shape can make or break a set, huh? You can make a set so flawless, but if that shape is not hitting on nothing, it's a no. This is the main thing that clients come for, is to make sure that you have a crisp shape. Just a little nub of acrylic that just came at the bottom there. So you just gonna take your file and file it. You can pick it out. Notice how I am taking my file and going under a little bit, just making sure that if any acrylic has come down to the sides, that I get that straight and squared away. I want my nails to be twins, two perfect cousins, sisters, if they can be. So I just like to have them as nice as possible. So just take that file, go under a little bit, to make sure that every single angle is going to hit when they leave your chair. Make sure that you are checking all of your nails. You see how I just pulled them all up? Just look at them. Make sure that you are looking at every single nail when you are getting done, to make sure that you don't have to just overwork yourself by constantly going back over your work. You see how I'm just taking that file and getting as close to the cuticle as I can without going over top of their cuticle. Because if you cut their cuticle, especially with an 80 grit file, baby, they're gonna bleed and they're gonna be upset and it's gonna hurt and it's not gonna be fun for you. So just make sure that you have your hand right there over their cuticle so that you don't swipe their cuticle with that 80 grit file. And then also, you're just going to take it over and just making sure that you are sealing in that cuticle, making sure to ensure that there is no lifting of the nails. And then that's another reason why I like to use that wetter bead, because when it's wetter and I just make sure that I take the tip of that brush and just pat it in, it's going to be thin. So when it's thin like that, it's not going to be too thick. It's not going to have a bulge to where anything can catch and to where it can have any lifting because of the bulge being so big. So that's why I like to use that wetter bead. That's something that my nail teacher taught me while I was in school, and that tip has taken me so far. When I first got to school, my nails used to have a super big bulge at the cuticle, and I remember her saying, like, I never really liked that. She didn't necessarily say it to me, but she did just mention, like, I never really liked when nail techs did that. And just the longer that I went on doing nails, I kind of figured, like, yeah, that's not really cute like that. So let me make sure that I'm having it flush, because you want to make sure that your acrylics are looking like they are natural, even though, yeah, sometimes clients get them extra long and that may not look like it is as natural, but you still want your sets to look like they are natural. So that's why I like to just have that cuticle area looking like it is just flush and it is growing out of their hand. Make sure you take a look at all of those nails once more. Is there anything I should go back over? If not, then I'm cool. If it is, then go back over it. But just make sure you examine every single nail. Flip that client's hand over in different angles, so that, because they're going to be looking at their hands from different angles. So you want to make sure that you have examined their nails from every single angle to make sure that they wouldn't have any complaints. And always make sure you ask your clients, when you get done with one hand, make sure you let them know, like, hey, can you go ahead and check your shape, make sure you're okay with everything while you are filing that other hand. So while they're examining one hand, you're doing the other, and if they have a complaint, go ahead and fix it. If not, then that's cool too. Go ahead and dust off those nails. Spray that alcohol. Like I said, this is going to be like a cleanser. Take your brush and cleanse off those nails. For me, I do this because I don't have to have my clients get up and go ahead and wash their hands again. They just got here, they washed their hands. So this is just me cleaning the nails. And then boom, there we go. We have a full set. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, and be sure to let me know what you guys would like to see next here on the channel. Bye.